there, Green Spumoni here. You ever had one of those days where things just go a little bit wonky? That's my day to day. This is actually my second time doing this video. For some reason, the first time when I was trying to edit it, half of it just went poof, gone. Not quite sure what happened. Yeah, I even re-downloaded it from the camera, and every time I tried to do it, it was just gone. So we're going to try this again. I know it's been a while. It's been, what, 3 weeks since the last time I updated. I was going to update earlier, and there was just so much going on. My daughter came home from college. My son had this to do, all sorts of crazy stuff. I figured this week would be a good week because my school's on fall break this week. So I thought, hey, great week to update. Except as soon as I finish this, I have to go study. I'm going to re-listen to a pharmacology lecture and add to the notes that I took in class, and then I have to study because even though it's fall break, I still have a pharmacology exam that I have to do this weekend. So no rest for the weary, right? Anyway, I wanted to update because I have had 3 weeks of clinicals, and just wanted to let y'all know how that's going. Now, first of all, let me say that anybody who has ever told you that nursing school is just a roller coaster of emotions is absolutely correct. And they are not exaggerating. They're not trying to scare you or anything like that. In fact, I can remember one day, I think I was still taking microbiology, and I was in the school library printing some stuff I was printing PowerPoints for an upcoming lecture. And I saw this other girl, she was printing some other stuff that was kind of like what I was printing, but not quite. So I asked her, is that A&P or micro? And she said, oh no, it's nursing. And I said, really? You know, I was real excited because, ooh, somebody in the nursing program. She said to me, what she said to me that day has actually stuck with me. She said, you're not in nursing school until you cry. And I thought, that's a horrible thing to say, you know? But, yeah, I had my freak out. I think I might have had it before my last update. I know I've had at least one freak out, possibly more. But yeah, nursing school is an absolute roller coaster of emotions. I have gone from one day coming home from clinicals feeling good, going, I got this, you know? I can do this. I've got this down. I'm understanding what's going on. To the next day, this past week, as a matter of fact, tanking a pop quiz over reading that I had done. So it's like you can go from here to here in just a matter of minutes. It's I don't mean to minimize what these people actually go through, but it's almost a bipolar existence. And it's really hard. It's hard on the students. I'm sure it's hard on the families. I'm sure my family's probably going nuts and just wishing for the old me back. But anyway, so yeah, I don't mean to scare you. Just if you're not already in a program, be prepared, because it's... My husband once described it. My husband served in the Marine Corps, and he likened it to United States Marine Corps boot camp, where they almost seem to completely break you down to your most base existence so that they can reform you into what they need. And, you know, I can kind of go with that. Our first couple of weeks of school, we had like 15, 16 chapters of reading due, and yeah, I felt broken down. The reading has lessened somewhat, and I'm getting better at learning how to think like I'm supposed to think. Still not quite there yet. Also, anybody who tells you to start doing NCLEX questions as soon as possible, yeah. Even our instructors are saying that, because it is an entirely different way of thinking. The questions are entirely different. Even if you don't know the material that you're doing the NCLEX questions on, do the NCLEX questions so that you start to understand. And the key to doing NCLEX questions is not just doing the questions, but reading and understanding the rationales that they give you afterwards. And I know that Saunders? Yeah, I believe it's Saunders. When you do the NCLEX questions and then you look at the answers afterwards, they not only give you rationales, but they give you test-taking tips for that question. Here's what you should know about this question. Here's what you should look for in this question. And if you look for this, it's going to lead you to that. So very important. Do NCLEX questions. My instructors recommend at least 50 NCLEX questions a week. I don't know if I'm quite there yet. I'm working on it. Anyway, clinicals. My group was one of 2 placed in an extended care facility. I feel very lucky and very blessed to have been placed in that facility with my particular clinical instructor, because it turns out we found out either the next day for the people who had Wednesday clinicals or the next week for those of us who have Thursday clinicals, that our group or our groups were some of the only ones that actually got our hands into working with patients on the first day. A lot of other groups who were placed in various floors in various hospitals spent their first clinical day going through an orientation, taking hospital tours, learning what's expected of them. And yeah, we learned that too, but our facility is kind of small, relatively speaking. So our first day, we got the tour of the facility, we got a basic breakdown of what's going on, and the first day was all about doing CNA duties. So the first day, within an hour, I was helping with a bed bath. We were doing vital signs. Some of the people in our groups were helping with showers, or were helping with toileting. We're not allowed to actually help patients ambulate. We can't move them or anything like that. However, we can go and get the lifts that they need. We were helping with feeding the patients. So I feel very blessed to have been able to do those kind of things on my first day. Now, with that said, admittedly, on my first day, I went home not feeling so good. Not so much about the clinical experience itself, but with my performance. You know, a lot of us nursing students tend to be really hard on ourselves. Usually we're described as A-types. I don't know if I would go so far as calling myself an A-type personality with the exception of grades. But for me, I set my own bar way, way up. I mean, my hand is so high up there it's completely out of frame, right? And I didn't feel on my first clinical day that I had lived up to my own potential, to my own expectations of myself, which was very upsetting for me. And yeah, I went home and beat myself up. I talked to my husband about it. I talked to a very good friend about it. Like I said, I beat myself up. I felt sorry for myself. I went through all that. And then I sat down and took a good hard look at myself, did a little bit of soul searching, and decided that instead of feeling sorry for myself and beating myself up, what I really needed to do is figure out how to make it better next time. So I sat down and made a plan for myself and set mini goals for myself. I didn't say I am going to be the best nursing student at clinicals, because that's not realistic. But I did say, you know what, I'm going to be more assertive. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to make sure that I do item A, item B, and item C. And I'm going to, if I can do those things, I'll feel better. And I did. My second and third clinical weeks were much better for me. I have had the opportunity to help clean and dress wounds. I have learned so much from the wound nurse who works the facility that we're in. I mean, she's wonderful not just with actually dressing wounds, but in the way she interacts with the patients. And my last clinical day, I've had 3 so far, and my last one last week, I paid a lot of attention to the way she interacted with the patients, because I don't have the confidence yet to be like that. I still feel like I'm in the way a lot. And I'm working and, you know, setting my mini goals to get past that. But, so yeah, overall, I have enjoyed my clinical experience. And every clinical day, what we do is we first go in. This last time we got to hear the nursing reports, the handoff reports. And then we had to go in and meet our patients, introduce ourselves. Then we were asked to look at the chart. We had to make note of the diagnosis or diagnoses, because we were expected by the end of the day to come up with a nursing diagnosis for our patient, which not just any nursing diagnosis, but our number one priority nursing diagnosis. We had to come up with a nursing diagnosis. We had to come up with a goal with our plans, interventions, and then if we had time, evaluation, if we were able to do that. We're doing that in lieu of doing full care plans. I know a lot of people are doing care plans right off the bat. We don't do care plans first semester. We do have to do one by the end of semester as an assignment. But right now, we're just doing these, I guess, mini care plans during the course of our day. We were required for our patient to get their vital signs, and we had to have those submitted to the tech on the floor who gathers all that information by lunchtime. We also had to make note of all the medications that our patient is on, because we are required by the next week to have 5 drug cards done, one for each of 5 medications. So far, I have had patients who have been on quite a few medications, so I'm not wanting for medications to do drug cards on. I do know that a couple of my classmates have had to just pick alternate medications because their patient wasn't on enough to do. And I feel like as long as I stay in nursing school, as long as I come home every day with some new revelation, something that I've learned that's new, as long as I continue to learn, then it's a good day. And I got to keep that in mind. As long as I learn something new every day, as long as I do something, as long as I improve on a skill, then it's a good day. So whether you're in your program or you're still working towards your program, learn something new every day. Do NCLEX questions. Read something in your textbook. Work with somebody. Go to Open Lab. Learn something new every day. And that is my advice for you for today. So until, I gotta go. And maybe not learn something new, because this is already stuff I should have gone over, but reinforce stuff. I get to go reinforce stuff and take a quiz, or not a quiz, but an exam, this big exam. And then starting next week, I have to go I'm going to be going to Open Lab every week, because we have med checkoffs, which is basically administration of medications, whether IV, IM, subcutaneous, oral, whatever. We've been learning all these skills the past few weeks in Skills Lab, and I've got checkoffs for that at the end of the month, or at the end of November, rather. At the beginning of November, or middle November, we have dosage calculation exam, which we have to score at least a 90 on. So, plus we've got nutrition projects and a bunch of other stuff coming up. So I got to get on the stick and get to work. So work hard, everybody. Learn something new every day. I thank you for watching. I thank you for subscribing, for commenting. Let me know what you're doing in your program or in your prerequisites. I'd love to hear what you're doing. If you have any advice on how to read and retain material, because I gotta reevaluate what I've been doing you know, when I take a pop quiz on stuff that I actually read, that's an issue. I think part of it may have been I skipped breakfast that day because I wasn't hungry. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time, okay? See ya.